I'm
Yes.
hosting, bro. Why are you starting? I'm hosting.
I know. I was gonna just say I'm relinquishing my duties over to you.
No, 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 no,
I got to
no,
give you
no,
an
no, no,
intro
no.
first.
I got your
Okay,
back, bro.
fine,
Don't
fine,
worry.
fine.
Don't worry. You
I
let
will.
me be the
I will do my
driver.
best to try to shut up for once.
I am the chauffeur. I am the chauffeur. You guys are the hot commodities in the back. Don't worry. I got this. I got this.
Call me old man Wade.
Damn you, old man!
Wait.
Old ass man.
Shut up, old man. You smell like fart.
No!
Old man.
He's so old he got a podcast on cassette.
Fuck, you're old.
Damn it, Wade.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of the Old Man Wade Show. You better believe it, baby. Today's topic is Kanye West and Drake. Oh boy. Folks, we are going to be digging into these two artists here who just came out with top-selling albums. There's going to be some very strong language and very strong opinions being shared here. And we figured, you know something? For once, let's allow Old Man Wade, instead of carrying the load of hosting, carrying Javi, Mr. Super Woke over there, let's allow Old Man Wade to be on an opposite side so he can finally give Javi the business. And whatever Old Man Wade misses, don't worry, we brought in a special guest this week who is going to cover the rest of the bases there. We are going to pick the bones clean because Super Woke Javi has claimed to be a music expert. He has claimed to be a man that eats, sleeps, and breathes hip hop. So we are going to find out once and for all how true that is. Okay? Our esteemed panel for this special edition of the Old Man Wade Show starts off with the founder and CEO and host of Foundation Radio. He is a lifelong hip hop fan. He is also a part of the Jackass franchise, but he's the guy in the back who bails everybody out of trouble, and they're always in trouble, so you know what that means there. Without further ado, Mr. Adam Barnard, what's going on there, AB?
What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for having me. I'm excited to talk about what we're going to talk about today. I'm excited to be here on the show. Thank you, Duke, for your wonderful and engaging introduction there. I really appreciate it, and thanks for having me, guys.
Now, just to clarify something there, I want to make sure people know that I mean what I say. You're the guy behind the scenes with the Jackass crew that has bailed them out of jail and gotten them out of serious situations when they've taken too many magic mushrooms or whatever else they mess around with, right?
Well, it's specifically two guys who will remain nameless in the greater Westchester area. But yes, I am the guy that helped get them out of jail. I will also be a part of an upcoming documentary and an upcoming book about a very famous Mercedes crashing story. So yes, I am the guy that helped them get out of trouble and get out of jail and you know, do the things that they needed to do to stay on that straight and narrow. But yes, that was my those were my duties for a while. And yeah, I am here to talk hip hop today, and hopefully I'll have a little bit more to talk about Kanye West in a minute, but I really don't want to talk about this album.
Well, it takes a jackass to talk about a jackass, so it's very important that you're here there, Adam.
Hey, that works, man.
The only difference is he won't be sending him out any bail.
That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
I'm not bailing out Kanye West. No.
And therefore, President Obama won't be calling you a jackass as well because it's already understood. So we're good here. We're good. Next up, we have the pride of the Old Man Wade Show. We are talking about a man who is a lifelong hip-hop fan and historian, a man that, you know, when the Caribbean music is playing, he is at the front of the line ready to whine. The political science. The man who knows tech inside and out. Okay, the man with the scruffy beard, but you better believe you better hide your wife, hide your sister, hide your daughter, because he is the man that makes it happen and drives all the ladies wild. We're talking about Super Woke, Javi. What's going on there, Javi?
What's going on, dude? I really want to thank you for all the good things you say to me, but I feel like it's a trap. So I'm going to cautiously say, hey, what's up, everybody? I think that Duke over here kind of stacked the deck on me a little bit, but it's okay. I'll try to live up to some of the craziness he said about me during this episode, and I can't wait to get started. Spoiler alert!
Well, Javi,
so let's go.
Oh boy, he already spoiled it. You know something, Javi. I wanted to make sure I got all the positives out of the way about you. So, I start with the positives. Now we can get into the real stuff. So don't worry, man. I put you over for the last time for the rest of the show. Okay?
Oh man.
Oh, I know that.
And I can say that there's a line in the Joe Budden album. First, let me start with "I love you," and I think we got the power to grow. And then he proceeds to get into all the negative shit.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the inevitable curb stomp from Duke. I know it's coming.
Hey, listen,
I'll try not to flinch.
You know it's coming. Out of nowhere. The RKO. Out of nowhere. Okay, last but not least.
Yeah.
Swerve, bro.
That's right. He is the namesake. Okay? He is the man that makes it all go round. He is the man who is not only a journalist, a comic book expert, a security specialist, a dog father, a fantastic husband, an even better friend, and oh, by the way, he's also a florist, if you can imagine that. We are talking about the one, the only Old Man Wade. What's going on there, Old Man Wade?
Nothing much, man. I'm the God of stubborn, the Lord of laughter, Old Man Wade. I'm sitting here doing my thing. Sober for once, so the mind is clear, and I can.
Well, I was going to say you're not drinking any boom sauce right now, old man. This is a new thing for you here. Where's the boom sauce?
Boom sauce is still at the liquor store. I haven't had a chance to go run and grab anything yet. I didn't really get much sleep, so I wanted to come in here with a clear mind. Then when I get out of here, after I finish destroying everybody, I'll pull a victory lap. Shout out to Nipsey, and then I'll get my alcohol.
Wow. Okay. So once again, folks, we're going to be talking about two artists and two albums. Okay. So Old Man Wade and Javi have already broken the rules. They've already talked about other artists. They're trying to do a bait and switch already. I don't know what's going on here, folks, but we're going to get to the bottom of this because it's funny business.
You called it, man. You called it.
Look at Javi. Look at Javi. Look at him. Look at him. It's a good thing he's muted because he's already starting with his theatrics. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I feel like this. Yeah, we need a new jury. I call mistrial.
We need a jury.
That sounds like loser talk to me.
Did you vet this guy, old man? Like, what's going on? Are we just letting all the riffraff in? Come on.
Again,
that's right.
Yo, dude, Adam, this sounds like loser talk to me.
Wow.
Woo! Uh-oh, he's on you. See, this is why we had to have Old Man on the panel. We had to have Old Man Wade on the panel for this reason. He is going to give it to Javi once and for all. So this is going to get real interesting. Okay, that's right. Now, folks, I am the Duke, host of the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast and the Tell Us the Truth podcast. And let me tell you something. I am excited because these are three of my closest friends, and we were having conversations online about two of the latest top albums in the world, Donda and Certified Lover Boy. And we decided, something? Let's take the conversation from outside of private messages and let's put it on the Old Man Wade show. Okay? Let's give the people what they really want, which is insightful conversation from three sharp brothers who know what they're talking about here, at least sometimes. Okay? So, to start it off, we're going to do pros and cons. Okay, we're going to start off with Kanye West's latest album, Donda, and we'll start with some pros. So, Old Man Wade, give me at least two pros to Kanye West's latest album, Donda, please.
It's two pros. It's engineered really well, and the beats are good.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Super woke Javi, give me some pros for Donda.
Well, I think that it's a major pro to this album is that it feels like a cumulation. I can't say that word properly, of everything that Kanye has been working towards ever since Life of Pablo. It seems like a more refined Life of Pablo. I think if I have any, I have a lot of critiques about what's happened between Life of Pablo and this album, and the major one has been every album he's come out with so far has felt disjointed. But with Donda, it feels like he was actually working on something. He was crafting his sword for this album, for Donda, and it has elements of everything we've seen from Kanye in the past couple of years. But it seems like a fully fleshed out idea, and it's I could go even further. I'll save a little bit. I'll save a little bit for the rest of the show, but for me, that's the one major pro. I've been waiting for this album, and I didn't even know it. I'm happy it's out.
Wow, you may be one of the few people in the world waiting for this album, so that's good to hear there, Super Woke Hobby. Good stuff there. Next up, Adam B. from Foundation Radio. Give us some pros for Donda.
I'm also going to go and say that the beats were mostly solid. And Jay Electronica. I can never get enough Jay Electronica. That guy can rap his fucking ass off. And I will, anytime Jay Electronica is on anything, I would listen to it back and forth. So, yeah, those are my two pros to Donda. And I will reserve.
No, I was just gonna say, since you brought up Jay Electronica, I can't. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up Jay, but he's Jay, so it's not shocking that he put out a dope verse in a song because what he does.
That's just what he does. Yeah, I mean that's just what he's. You are gonna get a delivery. You're gonna get an incredible verse every single time you get a Jay Electronica feature. So, yeah, I mean those are. I'm gonna reserve the rest of my critique and my serious shortcomings or misgivings with this record, but yeah, those are my two. I typically enjoy a Kanye West produced beat for the most part until it gets a little too weird for me. I don't know if he's necessarily for me as far as my ear strayed too far from the beaten path, like maybe not so much his earlier stuff, but maybe 808s and Life of Pablo. So yeah, I would say those are my two takeaways that I enjoyed from this record.
Interesting stuff. Okay. Now, what about Certified Lover Boy? We're going to stay with you, Adam. Start with Certified Lover Boy. Give us two pros here.
Hove, obviously. I don't know. Number two for Drake. I guess, yeah, I'm going to have to go with production as well on that. I enjoyed the production on the record. It was different, obviously different than Donda, but yeah, I'm going to go with my same two answers except a different Jay. I'm going to go with Jay-Z, and I'm going to go with the beats and the production on the record.
Super Woke Javi, give us some pros for CLB.
So Adam said Jay, and I think Jay-Z had a standout verse on that album. But I'm going to think that the standout for me on that album was actually one that didn't have any features, 7 a.m. on Bridal Path. I think that a lot of people underestimate Drake's pen, and it's crazy because this guy hangs out with competitive battle rappers, right? He's ghostwritten for many artists, and 7 a.m. on Bridal Path I think is probably one of the best pure hip hop tracks of the year.
My bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at that.
Yeah.
You see that old man? You see that old man? You're already starting there, old man. Okay. Your turn, old man. Okay, give us some positives for CLB.
First off, Drake is Drake. I love Drake's hustle, so I'm gonna add that to what he does. I may not be a big fan of a lot of his music, but I will never take away from the fact that that man is always, always, always working. And that cannot be taken away from him. So I'm going to add that as one. Two, that J verse, man. Like, but I'm not gonna use the J verse just because, like, it's, again, like I said, it's Jay-Z. That's what he does. This is nothing new. This is how he rolls. So I'm gonna go with the fact that even the songs that I didn't like, I can understand why people did enjoy them. There's a lot of, and I hate to use this word that I think every media personality will use when they talk about an album, but it was really cohesive. Like, it flowed well. And that's something that even when I didn't like a song, I said, okay, this song works right into the next one. So whoever was A&Ring and producing or wherever it is, they did a fantastic job making sure that the album didn't seem like jumpy or choppy when you were going track to track. And that's something that can really kill an album. I'm pretty sure everyone here has heard an album where it's like, oh, all these songs individually are good, but together it just doesn't hit right. Not necessarily the case here with Drake's out with Certified Lover Boy. And if I could add a third one, the simplicity of that album cover, in knowing damn well that troll was gonna like get people talking, was masterful. So all props what they're doing.
Okay, we got the good stuff out of the way. Now let's dig into some of the dirt. And we're going to start with Super Woke Javi, a man that is as opinionated as they come. So, for Donda, what are some not so positive takeaways here?
That's and I know I'm going to get some slack for this one, but
oh god,
me and Old Man had a conversation about this album a couple of weeks ago, and I think I said something like this was actually a masterpiece of an album. Like, it not necessarily, there's better hip hop albums. There's definitely better. Like, I think we're a long ways from Kanye.
Objection, Your Honor. He's already fabricated by calling it a hip hop album. It is listed as a gospel album.
Woo! Sustained.
So, let me get back to my point. Like I said, I think
no. Am I wrong? Okay. Is it listed as a gospel album?
Sure, it is. I don't. Okay, that's the thing. I don't pay attention to that. I don't pay attention to how albums are listed. He did that so he could possibly get a Grammy.
Hold on.
He raps.
Hold on.
There's rappers.
Hold on. It is listed as a gospel album, but we have to be honest. Gospel has hip hop, so it is a gospel hip hop album. Continue.
Well, what does No Malice do? No Malice makes gospel hip hop, right? Like, that's we could basically call it pretty much the same thing, right?
Yeah, and I think it's semantics. Like, look at and again, I know Dookie said don't bring in the other artists, but I think this is a strong point. Old Town Road, right? Like, that was a country song until people figured out it was a queer black kid singing it, right? So I don't really put too much thought into what albums are listed. To me, it's about the music and the genre. The genre could change track to track, to be honest with you.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you if Kanye West didn't make such a big deal about it being a gospel album. If he didn't, let me finish my point. If he didn't go out of his way to call it a gospel album, I wouldn't even be having this conversation. But he specifically went out of his way and took tracks off the album because this person swore. It was like, well, I can't have cursing on the album. But yet still, like, you have cursing on the album, which is bleeped out. So you went out of his way to call it a gospel album. That is the only reason.
So since it's my turn to speak, all right, I'm gonna say this. You actually helped me out with that.
But okay.
You helped me out with that. You helped me out actually think about a true negative. I think a negative to this album is Kanye himself, his behavior outside of this album. I think that a lot of the flack that he's getting for this album, I think much of it. And I think much of your criticism with Kanye is his behavior outside of it. The fact that he speaks with this crazy stream of consciousness, like he's thinking about gospel 1 second, he's thinking about friggin' doing ecstasy and having sex with his sister-in-law is another, right? Like, I think that his Kanye himself is the weakest part of this album.
I don't even have words for that.
Wow, that is inflammatory. Kanye West, Yeezy has just been.
Marilyn Manson's the Marilyn Manson's the worst part of this fucking album. Let's call it what it is. Marilyn Manson's the worst fucking part about this album. What the fuck? All right, I'll get to my points in a minute. I
couldn't even catch his influence on the album, to be honest.
I will withhold until it's my turn. I will mute myself again. And
you know something? You know something? We're gonna save Old Man Wade for last since he already cut in. Go ahead, Adam. Adam, finish your point.
There are so many things that are wrong with this record. Like, there's just so many things. I don't even really know where to start. The biggest issue that I have, it's the audacity for the sake of audacity. Okay. It's the shock value for the sake of the shock value. Why the fuck? Okay. Like DaBaby, right? Like, let's just kind of compartmentalize those two for a second. Okay. DaBaby, there might be a little bit of playroom there because he's still a really big hip hop. He's still a big influence in hip hop, but his actions and his everything he's done recently has been really kind of dreadful. Right. I can sort of see why someone would not be as opposed to having DaBaby on the record. Okay. I don't agree with it. I don't think he would have done that, but I don't necessarily, that's not really my choice, right? He's the creator of that. But Marilyn Manson, like, dude, there's absolutely no reason for him to be on this record, right? I know Duke and I constantly, we argue about this all the time. It's, it's innocent until proven guilty, and everybody has their day in court, but this guy is socially toxic, and you're putting him on a record at a time when there is a huge influx of people that are coming out for the Me Too movements. They're coming out to say that this kind of behavior isn't going to be tolerated anymore. He's had a decades and decades worth of issues in his life. Why would you put Marilyn Manson on the record, right? It's not like you're talking about you're not talking about a situation where you're going to meet Donald Trump inside of the White House, which is still objectively bad, right? You're doing it for the sake of news. But at what point do you say to yourself, this is a little bit too far? I don't know if I would have put Marilyn Manson on this record. I don't think there was a reason to put Marilyn Manson on this record. I don't think he brought anything to the table other than to like croak out that chorus of whatever he was singing. But I don't see why he should have been on this record in any way, shape, or form. And that's just like a microcosm of the entire larger problem with Kanye West overall. It's the shock value for the sake of shock value. You're not adding anything, right? If you're going to drop a record like The College Dropout, right? And you're going to talk all this shit, you're going to do all these crazy things, and then you throw out a banger like College Dropout or even My Dark, Beautiful, Twisted Fantasy. To me, that's a whole different conversation and a whole different ball of wax when you're doing all of these insane things to bring some attention to this incredible project. But you're putting Donda out. This is not like it's just the whole thing felt rushed. The whole thing felt discombobulated. The whole thing felt like it was just pieced together. It just, and then add Manson on top. Like, just, you guys understand what I'm saying, right? I maybe not as expressing it as eloquently as I'd like to, but like, what is the point? Right?
I get what
you're saying. Go back to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the point of having Marilyn fucking Manson on this record? You are purposefully inviting all kinds of insane. You're now taking away from the artistic expression of this record, right? If you're going to put something like Donda out and you're going to sit here and say, yeah, this is an incredible record. This is a masterpiece, as Super Woke called it. This is a masterpiece of a record. I want you to enjoy this, but here, let's take away all of the fucking shine on this record, and everyone's going to be hyper focused on DaBaby and Marilyn Manson. It takes like I'm not interested in listening to the rest of the record now.
I get what you're saying. I think that touches my point. I think that a lot of the critics, like, this is an objectively everybody, like, I'm not Beethoven, right? I'm not even Kanye West, right? I played the saxophone and I like an eclectic mix of music, right? But everybody I know is with an artistic bone in their body calls this an objectively great album. It's a good album.
No,
I think
I don't
much
have
of
an
the issue
on my body because I don't think it's a masterpiece on any conceivable level.
That's fine. That's fine.
No, I'm asking.
Right. That's my kickback too. Is I'm an artistic guy. I'm a photographer. I create. I do all kinds of things. Yep. I don't believe that this record is in any way, shape, or form anywhere close to a masterpiece. That's my opinion. Super Woke. You're obviously, you're entitled to yours. I disagree.
But I would say just now that, like, 70% of your criticism had nothing to do with the music. It had everything to do with the toxicity, I can't speak, around the album, which is fair. It's a fair criticism, right? We could do. I don't listen to R. Kelly. Right?
You know what?
But I'm not gonna cancel somebody because of their political views. And I'm not going to cancel somebody because they have somebody who's accused of doing something that, I have no idea what the Marlon Manson situation is, right? But I'm not a canceller. I don't do that. Like unless you're out there with a sex tape with kids or something and you've been convicted of something horrible, I'm not going to cancel you because I'm not, as Kanye, as Jay-Z said on the verse that you guys spoke highly of on this album, who am I to cast the first stone?
So I'm good. So let me just get out my.
I'm gonna keep back on that a little bit too. Yeah.
So my issue with the album, because I went in there objectively subjective. I can't remember which one it is, but I went in there with a clear mind.
Yeah.
Objectively, I was like, let me actually give this an actual listen. So woke up, I put it on, and I'm listening to it, and I'm already turned off by the dun da dun da dun da dun. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. But I listened to it. I said, okay. I went to the next track, and I was like, all right, the beats on here are dope. The lyrics are awful, but it is what it is. And that's what I kept saying to myself, like, wow, the lyrics on this are awful throughout the whole thing.
Right.
And then I noticed something else that really, really bugged me more than anything else. All the beats on here sound like something he recycled from another album. I vividly remember I think it was track 4. I vividly remember listening to this going, this sounds like the opening track to 808 Heartbreaks. I'm like, this is just these all sound like recycled Kanye West beats. This album
right, Jail. You're talking about Jail. Jail literally sounds like it was a cutting room floor version of something that 808s and Heartbeats. Like it should have come after Heartless, right? Yeah. And I want to go ahead, and then I'll go back because I want to go back to something that Javi said. So go ahead.
I'm listening to this. It's like, and as much as, like I said, I liked the beats on. I did like them. But my problem is, it's like, let me put it in wrestling terms. I have seen matches on a pay-per-view and then seen that exact same match minus a couple of moves the very next Monday. Now, was it still a good match? Absolutely. But it does take away from the originality, and I am going to look at it a certain way when I go back and visit it. And I sat and listened to it, and it was funny. I was talking to my therapist because he was like, well, strap in, it's 27 tracks. I said, excuse me? And so I was like, and that's another thing. Like, I don't need 27 tracks from everybody. I'm a huge Pharoah Monch fan. I don't need 27 tracks from Pharoah Monch. The Blueprint 2, no. I don't need both of those albums.
So we're criticizing him because he had too much tracks on his album. Like,
wait.
Actually, we're talking about an opinion on why I don't like something. Yeah. It's too much. It's too much of the same shit. It's like if I hear a track, I shouldn't be hearing a track that I've heard before or something that's absolutely similar. And yes, you can have too much on an album, and yes, that can hurt someone's opinion. Let me say it again: someone's opinion on an album. I didn't like because it was too much. At some point in time, I'm gonna get fatigued with something. That goes for anything that I like. Some of my favorite movies, as much as I love them, I'm not gonna sit through 2.5, 3 hours of it. If that's the thing, it can still be great, but it's gonna take away from like the replay value of it. It's gonna take away from my love from it if I have to legitimately dedicate time out of my day to spend an X amount of time to do it. It's like binging something. At a certain point, I'm like, yeah, I don't really need to do this. And plus, I have shit to do.
Right. You know what I mean? I have a life outside of this. Yeah. Well, wait, Javi, let me go back to this. Javi. So your critique of me for a second here was about.
Can you just hold that thought for 1 second?
Yeah, no problem, man. Go ahead.
I'm sorry for being rude. I apologize.
No, you're good, man. You're good. It'll give me a second to formulate what the fuck I was going to say anyway, so it's fine.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna stop you there, Adam. Hold that thought for a second because I got to clear something up. Okay, I am the host today. I am the judge. So let me just make something clear because Old Man Wade said something that was pathologically flagrant, and it is not acceptable to leave that on here. And you know something? We're not going to edit it out. I want the whole world to hear Old Man Wade saying things that were just completely negative and untrue and unacceptable. Track 4 on Donda is off the grid. It is the absolute
which is crazy
best track on the entire album, and it's only because Fabio Foreign, the best rapper alive right now, not named Jay-Z, Fabio Foreign, went went
that's
completely
crazy, but
bananas
I'm with you
on
on
that
that.
track, and it was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard in my life. So I will not sit here, and I know that I'm the host, but I will not sit here, sir, and accept the fact that you disrespect the great goddamn name of Fabio Foreign. I don't like it. It's unacceptable, and I'm putting this on the record. You're wrong.
I just want to point out that all I did was talk about the beats. I didn't say anything about the song. Right. I just said the beat sounds fucking recycled. And let me also just say this.
But that beat is definitely not. I think you're thinking about a different song. It's not off the grid, bro.
Whatever song it was but it's not just that one song. That was just a song I was using as an example. A lot of the sound.
What? That whole song's like goals, bro.
Oh,
all right, bro. Wait, don't you talk about Fabio Foreign negatively ever in your life, old man. In your entire life, don't you disrespect Fabio Foreign, okay? I'm just saying this right here. I will go to your house and I will let your dog bite me, okay? I will get into that house and get bitten by your dog before I let you disrespect Fabio Foreign. I'm just putting this on the record here. That's it. All right.
You're gonna be sitting outside.
Duke is Wu Gang.
Look, all I'm saying is a lot of the production of this sound very recycled. It sounds very and I'm listening to this, and it's funny. I got rid of my bias towards Kanye West's stupidness and nastiness and all the stuff that goes on in his life, but like
perjury. I call bullshit.
Oh God, I don't care what you call.
All right,
so you're gonna tell me how I feel and how I think. All right. So
thank you. That's what I was gonna go back to. That's what I was going to go back to. Hold on a second. I don't mean to interrupt you, old man. But listen. This is what I was going to go back to. 2 points to you, Javi. And I appreciate you. Let me just say that I appreciate you right now and your candor, and I appreciate the conversation. However, I'm going to call bullshit on 2 parts. That's something that you said, okay? Number one, when you said 70% of my arguments are not about the music, I specifically stated that was the one thing that stood out to me. I didn't go back and say that his lyrics were uninspired. I didn't go back and say that I thought that the beats sounded recycled and overproduced and overhyped. I didn't say any of those things yet. That was old man. I didn't get a chance to go back and say that. I didn't get a chance to go back and say that. Those were also my criticisms and my critiques of that record. The lyrics are extremely uninspired. I didn't find anything. It's not like I don't get the excitement and the warm and fuzzies of a Kanye record that I used to when I listened to his original albums. That's my take, and that's my critique and my opinion on the record. Okay? So I want to make sure I went back and assessed that, because it is not Marilyn Manson is a small segment of my criticisms and critiques of that record. Number 2, I'm not canceling anybody. I want to make sure I'm clear about this on this podcast and on this recording. I am not canceling anybody. My point about Marilyn Manson is the fact that there's absolutely no reason to bring him to this record because he is distracting from the overall message of the record. If you had a plate of prime rib that your restaurant was incredibly known for, and you are giving this incredible piece of prime rib out to the restaurant owners, and you put a pile of dog shit next to it, specifically for the purposes of putting a pile of dog shit next to it, no one's going to talk about the prime rib. They're going to talk about the dog shit on the plate next to it. They're going to completely ignore it. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's my point. Marilyn Manson deserves his day in court. I have my own opinions and my own beliefs and ideas about somebody like Marilyn Manson, but that's my own thing. I'm not saying I'm canceling him. My point is that putting him on the record is distracting from the overall narrative and the thrust of the promotion and the background of the record. That's all I'm saying. I wanted to make sure I was clear on that. So, Javi, again, thank you. I appreciate your candor, but I had to make sure I cleared that up before we went any further.
No, I appreciate that. You're wrong. But
all right.
Wow.
All right, gentlemen. We've spent a lot of time on Kanye West.
You warned me.
I told you about this guy, and what I'm surprised about is that Old Man Wade would have the audacity to talk about Fabio Foreign that way. I'm telling you right now, bro. Hey, I'm just telling you right now, bro. I didn't even say that man's name. I'm gonna leave it there.
I didn't even say that man's name.
All right. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. All right. We're moving on to Certified Lover Boy, and we'll start with Javi. Since Javi has already pissed off Adam on Donda. What's that? Wait. You know what? Old man, your show. You can start. You can start, old man.
I'm gonna start here. So this is probably gonna shock anybody who knows me, and this is gonna shock people when I say it. and I remember talking to Super Bowl about this. When I heard Drake was coming out with an album, and it was coming out soon, I, Old Man Wade, was excited. Let me just get that out there right now. I am not a big Drake fan. His music isn't for me. So I also want to make that very clear. A lot of Drake's music isn't for me. Like, he makes a specific sound of music that makes my ears hurt. But again, not for me. That's not the music he makes. And it has nothing to do with like the love stuff, because I am a huge LL Cool J fan. I think he's one of the greatest rappers of all time, and I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. Now, Certified Lover Boy.
Those are the facts. Those are the facts as presented.
Those are the facts as presented. Now,
As
Certified Lover Boy comes out. I happen to be awake. I'm up playing NBA 2K. I said, you know what? Let me put this on. And I'm texting Javi as this is going on, and so Javi can go back and read the text as I was talking about it. And I was actually digging it for a while. And then I got to a point where I was just like, yeah, this ain't for me. And it got to it wasn't the music. And I hate to say this because this is something Jay-Z said. It was his voice. You hated my voice, right? I hate that you noticed. When he gets into that really monotone, melodic, like Migo-ish, even though he created the style Migo-ish voice, it turns me off from just the sound in general. That said, if you said to me, hey, old man, you could pick one of these two albums to listen to forever, I wouldn't even hesitate to say Drake's album. I think Drake put out a better album. I think Drake did a better job of promoting it. I think the world of Drake as a person who knows how to work his ass off, who trolls without being a dick about it, unless the energy is brought his way. So that's all the positives. That's the positives and the negatives on that. And the reason I wanted to go first is because I think a lot of people who know me were waiting for me to absolutely shit on the album, and I'm not. I'm not gonna shit on it. Is it the best album of the year? It's not even close. It's not even like top 5. But there's also a conversation that I want to have about the way that we as people have started calling mediocre things great. And I think that's the problem.
All right, well, hold that thought. Hold that thought, old man. Hold that thought. I don't want you to go too far into that because we're gonna follow up on that. We're gonna follow up on that, so we will get back to you on that. But Javi, you're next there, please.
Yeah, sorry. Somebody keeps on knocking my door. Give me 1 second. I apologize. Technical difficulties.
We ain't taking a side.
Okay, well, Adam,
right in there.
Adam, I know we got to keep that guy in there because Javi's just all over the place today. I don't know what's going on here. Adam, you're muted. You're muted, Adam.
Fuck, I did it again. Technical difficulties. Look, Javi didn't piss me off, right? Like, we have differences in opinion. I think he's wrong about Kanye West, and I think he misrepresented what I said, but I'm not mad, right? So here's my thing about Drake, and I have to echo old man on this, right? Drake is just not for me. Drake does not make music for me, not in the way that LL Cool J did. I guess maybe it was another time in my life when I discovered LL Cool J, and also the fact that LL Cool J is a lyricist, not a performer. And There is a very stark difference between being a lyricist and a performer. LL Cool J is a lyricist. Drake is a performer. Do I think Drake could be a lyricist? Sure. Anybody could in this genre. But he's not. So I want to make sure we make that clear distinction between the two of them. And I think that's my biggest issue with a lot of recent music, which I know we're not talking about right now, but that's sort of my biggest issue with modern hip hop is there's not a ton of lyricists anymore. Everybody's a performer. And that's great. Everybody has their own lane and everybody's doing their thing and there's room at the table for everybody. That style just isn't for me.
Yes.
However,
I also want to say that Drake can be lyrical.
He can. Right.
And that's the part that really, really bugs me about him because when I hear him rap, I'm like, yo, dude, please can I have more of this?
He can do it. And you know what? That's the thing. Like I went back and listened to Pound Cake for the first time, I don't know, in a long time. And I was like, man, he was good on this. Like he was really good. Like I really enjoyed his verse on that record. But if we're comparing the two, if we're comparing Donda and Certified Lover Boy, I'm going to pick Certified Lover Boy 10 times out of 10. I will go back and listen to it because for me, it almost sounds like music that I can like drive to, right? Or if I'm doing something, I can put it on in the background and I can just kind of enjoy it and it's just kind of there. There's nothing inspiring to me about either of these records. And I think that like what Old Man was saying is kind of speaking to the larger albums of the year and these all of these projects that are all kind of meh. There hasn't really been anything that's excited me for this entire year. There's been a couple of records here and there, a couple of cuts on each of the records, but nothing that has really stood out to me and been like, wow. We talked about this in the group chat, the replay value of each of these records. It's not there for me. And I didn't really get excited about it. There are a couple of standout tracks. I know we talked about 7 a.m. on Bridal Path, and obviously the Jay-Z verse is great, but yeah, there's just nothing for me that goes that I'm like, man, I got to put that record back on. I got to put on Certified Lover Boy right fucking now because I got to listen to it, right? It's not, it's not Illmatic. It's not any of Big Pun's, Big Pun's first record. It's none of those specific that I can put on and listen back and forth, all day long. It just didn't do it for me. But as far as comparing the two, Certified Lover, I mean, it's just there's no contest for me.
Yeah.
Super Woke Javi.
I'm glad I left my listen. I had to walk away.
Before we go on, I want to point something out. I want to give Super Woke his props. When I was telling him I didn't like that song, Javi was like, "Stop listening to it on your phone like a peasant, like you're listening to it on a two-way radio." And I was like, "All right, fine." So I went back and listened
together.
So I went back and listened to it on my headphones. And being the stubborn asshole that I am, I said, it still sucks. But meanwhile, I'm like bobbing my head hard as hell. But I want to make sure I gave Super Woke his props because he was 1,000% right when we were talking about that. He was like, some music needs to be in your headphones.
In the headphones. Well, before Super Woke goes on, let me just ask this real quick. This record is also 21 tracks long as well. And Kanye's album was what, 27 or 26? These are really long fucking albums. These are really long records. Again, this is another situation. I don't know. I can't remember who brought it up, but this is another record where it's like, I got shit to do. I'm not going to be in a car. I'm not going to be in the gym this long to be listening to this stuff. The days of double records are over, right? If you're going to release a project that's going to be this long, split it up into sections so at least you can get more mileage out of this. So,
I think with Drake, there was a want to go back to it. So, like, I ended up listening to the first 7 tracks. Then I went back and listened maybe, like, a handful more. But I kept wanting to go back to listen to this. Kanye's album felt like a chore. But we didn't let Super Woke talk, so my apologies. That's on me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm getting used to it.
Wow. All right, fine, dude. I'll mute my fucking mic then, dude.
No. I liked it because I'm going to be honest with you, dude. I don't think I have to say anything else. I think they made my argument for me. And I think this is par for the course for a lot of people that
that's
say
a
they don't
cop
like
out.
Drake.
That's a cop out, Javi. That's a cop out, Javi. You be straight with us like Joe Biden.
Do you think
say. You be straight with us now? Okay, you give us your opinion on Drake right now.
You know me for quite a bit. You know me for quite a bit, dude. You know there's something coming after that. Come on, man. Come on. Give me my flowers, man. But yeah, so this is my issue. Is that well, let me add some context. Here's an exclusive. Let me get the air horns. Let me get the air horns on this one whenever you do the post production. There you go. Exclusive. Old Man Wade is a Drake fan. I'll say it again, and he's not arguing with me, right? And I think I understand all the arguments that he makes against Drake.
So let's just point out that Javi is correct. I am a Drake fan. I may not be a fan of his music, but I'm a Drake fan.
I think, and you know what? We've had conversations. I don't want to violate the friendship that I have with the
no.
Drake.
It's me. You can air all the time because we've had legitimate conversations where we've talked about we all know there are certain things that are personas that you use on air, and there are certain personas that you use in real life. And and if anybody knows me, you can tell what I mean by you know what I mean. I joke when I say I hate Drake on a molecular level. I just don't like his music. Yeah. But if someone was like, "You want to go party with Drake?" Hell yeah, I want to go party with Drake.
Drake is like that cool dude in high school that you just couldn't understand why everybody liked him. And you're like hating on this dude because like you're just like, yo, he's kind of corny, but why does everybody like this kid? And then one day you sit next to him in the during lunch and you're like, oh shit,
he's cool.
All right, he's still kind of cool, but you don't want to tell any of your friends that you don't want to tell any of your friends about it.
Well, no, that was actually me in high school. I was that kid no one wanted to admit they were hanging out with. I was
exactly,
a nerdy fucking emo basketball player and playing basketball ROTC, bumping the wrestling themes all day. I was that kid. And then they'd be like,
and the thing is with Drake, and I've talked to Valkyrie, your wife, as well about this, right? Like, and a lot of the argument is like Drake isn't some gangster. Like, what is he? Well, he didn't come from the bottom. Like, he was on Degrassi. Like, I never watched Degrassi. My first introduction to Drake was when he got signed to Young Money, right? Like, I remember an interview with him when he's going through like his classic hip hop. Like, I've always known Drake as like a hip hop nerd who can rap his ass off, right? And Adam, like you said that he's not a lyricist, but in the same paragraph, you also say that he could be a great lyricist. And then you go even further and saying that 7 a.m. on Bridal Path is a great lyrical song. I'm saying you're not going as far as I'm saying that it's one of the best tracks, but it's clear that Drake is talented with his pen, but it's also clear, like, as Old Man Wade say, that he's a business man, right? Like there's a reason why Jay-Z put more effort on his verse on CLB than he did on Donda.
Absolutely,
you can
100%.
tell the respect that Jay-Z has. And don't even take my word for it, right? Jay-Z has given his props to Drake, right? As both an artist and a lyricist. Joe Budden, hating Joe Budden. Joe freaking Budden. I don't care what you say about him. He's on, if the Mount Rushmore of hip hop had like 100 people on it, Joe Budden would be on that, right?
He's in the top. Joe Budden's in the top 5 of like mixtape rappers of all time. So that
and
qualifies him.
Exactly, he's high on some lists depending on what you look, and he gives Drake his props for his pen, right? Like I said before, Drake hangs out with competitive battle rappers, and
Joe Budden is terrible, right? By the way.
Like,
carry on.
I've said. Sorry, I get a little heated with this because I feel like I hate when people's talents are underestimated, and I'm telling you, Drake is a top tier lyricist. Period. And I think he showcased that a bit.
I won't go that far now.
He showcased that a bit on Certified Lover Boy. He showcased that a bit on a lot of these tracks that he put out outside of this album. But I think this album wasn't for that. This was Drake paint by numbers, and Drake paint by numbers is better than 90% of the stuff out there. And it's scientifically proven to have crazy replay value. And it's scientifically proven to be an album that you can play in your car while you're hanging out, while you're studying.
Did Dr. Fauci say that?
It's
because if Fauci says it, I believe it. But if anybody else,
they have a little dude in a white lab coat in the
named
studio.
Hank, right? Yeah, Hank in the white lab coat. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
But I'm telling you, it's a machine. Drake is a machine, right? Like,
I get it.
And that's what it is. But
that's why I said he was a performer. He's a performer.
Oh, clearly, yeah. But that doesn't take away his talent as a lyricist.
And I didn't say that.
That's like saying.
I didn't say that.
That's kind of the argument. We're gonna play back. I'm gonna rewind this. I'm gonna play this a couple times.
I said that. I went back and I clarified because context is king, fellas. Context is king. All right. LL Cool J is a lyricist. He is a lyricist before he is a performer.
Mm-hmm.
Drake is a performer before he is a lyricist. Does that not take away from LL Cool J's performance aspect of his career? No. It just means that he is a lyricist before he is a performer. Mm-hmm. Does that take away from Drake's lyricism? I gave him props on Pound Cake. I gave him props on Bridal Path. That does not mean that he is a full... I wouldn't classify him as a lyricist per se. I would say that he is a performer.
Lyricist.
Old man, would you agree with that?
Pharoah Monch is a lyricist. Kendrick Lamar is a lyricist.
Correct.
Lupe Fiasco is a lyricist. Can Drake be lyrical?
Drake is a lyricist.
He's not. Can Drake be lyrical? Absolutely. I've gone on record by saying...
What does that mean?
It means that it's there.
Okay.
The ability is there.
Okay.
I'm gonna let y'all smoke. Go ahead.
I'm gonna put this in back.
I'm gonna need some of the crack that y'all smoking on after this episode.
No, because you're hearing me, but you're not listening. So let's look at.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's look at basketball terms. Shaquille O'Neal can play defense. He's not a defender. Dennis Rodman can score. He's not a scorer. We'll give his props even more. Kobe Bryant is a great defender. Kobe Bryant is a great basketball player. He's one of the greatest, but he's not a great defender. LeBron James is a good defender. He can defend. He's not an elite defender. These are what I'm talking about when I talk about Drake. Can Drake be lyrical? Absolutely. That is absolutely true. Is he a lyricist? No, because that's not where his bread and butter is made. His bread and butter is made by being a performer, by being a entity. Drake is a
So Jay-Z's not a lyricist by that argument. Jay-Z's not a lyricist.
Let me finish. Drake is a musical force of nature. That's a fact. When Drake when Hurricane Drake is even announced, if you aren't Jay, Kendrick, Cole, or Beyonce, board up your doors. Board them up because you don't want no parts of Hurricane Drake.
All right, fellas. Let's bring this home for a second here because I think we're getting off path here. It's clear to me that you all agree that Drake had the better album. So Certified Lover Boy was beyond a doubt better than Donda, right? Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
My thoughts are a little bit more complicated than that, but I can kind of agree with that.
For the love of Donda.
Javi, you got to make a decision. Javi, you actually have to make a decision. Make a decision, Javi. Which one was better? Stop being indecisive. Come on, Javi.
Yeah, Donda was a better album. Oh. Donda was a better album. Donda was a better...
This guy. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Are you serious right now?
I appreciate your opinion, sir. I appreciate your opinion, but you're wrong.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, but I'm going to say...
What do I listen to more? What do I listen to more? I listen to Certified Lover Boy more. What do I bump more? I bump Drake more. But I think pound for pound, again, I think Donda had the better, the feature, other than the Jay-Z feature. I think every other feature on Donda was better. I think for somehow Kanye has a way of just making people sound. I don't like Playboy Cardi, but he's
not a fan.
I could bump that, right? I like Fabio Foreign, but I think for some reason Fabio Foreign on Donda is probably the best I've ever heard of him on this album. It just high. I think this was more of a highlight of his features than himself, and that's why I appreciate Donda. Just musically, it was just a better album. Drake's album's a funner album. It's a more enjoyable album, and that's why I say it's complicated because I'm judging. I don't think I'm judging them through the same lens. I don't think I'm using the same metrics to judge these two albums. I mean, Old Man made the argument earlier that Donda's not a hip hop album; it's a gospel album, right? And I'll take him for his word and say, you know what? Okay, I'm judging Donda as a different genre as I'm judging Certified Lover Boy. And I think that's fair.
Well, that would make Donda one of the worst gospel albums in the history of gospel, by the way. But that's another story.
I didn't say I'm judging that as gospel. I said I'm judging that as a different genre.
I just don't know how you're going to put out a gospel
Mississippi
album
Mass Choir. Mississippi Mass Choir, the Soul Stirrers, all these great Kirk Franklin. And then Donda, get the hell out of here. This is nonsense. This is complete nonsense right now, folks. But I'm glad we got there. Now, listen, Old Man Wade.
I'll listen to Donda.
Old Man Wade.
Kirk Franklin.
Yeah.
That's terrible. But because, Kirk Franklin will break his son's neck if he ever disrespects him again. So let me just put that out there. Okay?
I cannot stand Kirk Franklin, man. Him, I can't stand on a.
Listen, Kirk Franklin.
I hit Kirk Franklin and yuck.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Franklin will be thugging and bugging, so don't play with Kirk Franklin. He will break your neck, okay? That's what he said. Now, listen, Old Man Wade. That's right. Old Man Wade, you were making a point earlier, and I told you we'd come back to it because I think it's an important point. you were talking about mediocre albums that have come out over the past year or so, and how do you feel that we are bestowing more accolades on inferior product because there is so few good albums these days in terms of music, or are you just overreacting a little bit? What's going on here, old man?
I don't think the two can. I don't think the two have to be mutually exclusive. To be honest with you, um, our opinions are our opinions, and what we like is what we like. So one of the things that I had to get over was the fact that like my time of music isn't necessarily something that's going to last forever. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm incapable of evolving as a person and my ear can't evolve. Little Yachty was one of those dudes that I just could not stand. I didn't like him. I thought he was ridiculous. I thought he was destroying hip hop. I was that guy. Until one day I realized that I sound like a damn fool. Just because I don't like it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not good. Little Yachty actually has a couple songs that I enjoy. But when it comes to what I hear in actual music, it doesn't necessarily seem that it doesn't feel. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. It just doesn't feel like it doesn't have that same kind of emotion that hip hop used to have. Like it's a job now. When Cardi first came out, I wasn't a big fan. Her album that came out, meh, I liked some of it. Some of it was cool. The stuff she's put out after her album, I don't know what happened, what the transformation was, but it sounds like she's putting her whole damn heart and soul into that music. And it's something about it, and I can feel it again. I can feel that kind of hip hop. Freddie Gibbs, Conway the Machine. So like I hear those guys, and it gives me that same kind of like emotion that I used to have.
Hold on. Are you going to be disrespectful again? Are you going to be disrespectful again and not name Benny the Butcher? Here you go again, right?
Oh yeah.
Are you not going to say Benny the Butcher's name?
Benny the Butcher. No. Let me just say this. Benny the Butcher has never put out a bad verse. Okay. Benny the Butcher has never put out a bad verse ever. Like every time if Benny the Butcher puts something out, I'm listening. Benny the Butcher's that dude. There's nothing negative you can say about that dude. He puts out amazing albums. Amazing, like, and again, he's not the most lyrical dude, but again, he can be a lyricist. It's kind of like let's take Rick Ross. Rick Ross isn't necessarily lyrical, but when he speaks, you're just kind of like, damn. Andre 3000, something about whatever he does is just damn. And it doesn't necessarily have to be lyrical. It's just damn. So
Andre 3000 has never put out a song as a singles artist. He's never put out a song that was worth listening to. His features are the only things worth listening to unless he's with Big Boy. Facts.
You are out of your damn mind because The Love Below is one of the 5.
I was about to say, don't be disrespectful, dude.
Yeah,
I gotta check you on that one, Duke. Yeah,
don't be disrespectful, dude.
The Love Below is one of the 5 greatest albums of all time in any genre. I don't care what. I don't care what if you're talking about like actual music.
And The Love Below was released by Outkast. All right, so again, he had the influence.
Yeah, but they were separate.
It was separate but together. He had the influence of Big Boy to carry him. Like I said, Andre 3000
I feel like they were kind of beefing.
I feel
like there was a beef.
Is that why they put out an album together?
Facts.
Is that why they put out an album together?
I'm probably making some shit.
I know. I'm just bullshitting. Yeah, now I feel like
Andre
3000. I don't hear any kind of Big Boy influence on that.
Andre Benjamin, if you're listening right now, I'm going to tell you this right now. Never in your life have you put out a single song by yourself without Big Boy's influence that was worth listening to. Everything that you owe your whole success is to the influence of Big Boy and the other artists that you feed off of. You're one of those guys that you need a good teammate in order to be your best. And I credit you for that because you know your lane and you stick there. That's why you never put out a solo album. And I commend you for that. Stay in your lane, brother. Stay in your lane.
You're gonna wake up tonight, dude. You're gonna wake up tonight, dude, and Andre 3000 is gonna be squatting over you, playing a flute with the Robin Hood hat, and he's gonna be very upset with you. Just so
Andre 3000 is gonna CM Punk you, sir. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna wake up and you're gonna have 600 tweets about Andre 3000 fucking coming back at you, like what happened to me with CM Punk. So just be very, very careful, sir.
And you know the best part about it is. If Andre 3000 is not even going to be mean about it, he's going to like sit there and talk with him. He's going to bring Duke's favorite beer. It's going to be sitting there with him, like it just like yo, oh my god,
so polite.
Yeah, like he's like it's like the night. It'll be like the nicest thing in the world, and he'll be like, "Why don't you like my music?" And it's just like it'll just be so poetic.
Just big grin the whole time, you know, just so kind and welcoming. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
You know he's a great you have to. There's no way that you can be one of Erykah Badu's baby daddies and not be a solid stand-up guy. Like I think that's impossible.
And she has nothing negative to say about it.
You're right.
Well, Erykah Badu is no Jill Scott. Duke is the only
one that has something negative to say about Andre.
Well, Erykah Badu is no Jill Scott. Let's move on here.
So, you know what? I'm not even.
You'll get no argument.
Super woke Javi. Come on.
No, I'm not putting those two queens together.
I'm with Javi. I'm not.
Erykah Badu is no Jill Scott. Javi. When we think about the music that's come out over the past year, do you feel it's been mediocre, or is Old Man Wade, is he exaggerating?
Old Man Wade's old. That's why we call him Old Man Wade. He's an old guy. You know, he's an old soul. And that's okay. Nostalgia is a bleep, man. Sometimes I suffer with that. I try to check myself when I think I'm seeing things through nostalgic rose-colored glasses. But to be real with you, I think we've been in a golden age of music, period. I think that music has become a lot more democratic, right? I think that the music that we grew up listening to, all of it was filtered through the machine, was filtered through...
Wait, time out. No. We're not doing that. Filtered through the machine? So, Drake is the machine. Literally the machine.
Are you not?
No, it's filtered through the machine. You cannot say that and then be a high proprietor of fucking Drake and this and Donda and be like filtered through the machine. Get out of here with that. I'm not.
I just want the audience to see who's calm here and who's not, and just
yes, because I am an emotional. Like Drake, I am an emotional Scorpio.
All right, that's fine. Sometimes we have to buttress our weak arguments with the quote. What we said earlier.
You insulted everybody on here by saying the only everybody with a what was it he said? Only everybody with an artistic bone in their body like Drake. Like
I'm not here to make friends, man. I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Anyways, with that being said, I think that we're in a golden age of music. I think that the fact that anybody can put out a track and get that on a streaming service, you know, of course there's going to be a lot of trash because, again, anybody can do it. But I think it gives people the artistic freedom to do what they want. I think Young Thug, he's coming out with a punk album, right? Like, these kids own their masters, right? These kids are doing what they want. Drake is part of the machine, but that's his machine.
You've talked about is how we're in a golden age or something, but you've yet to say anything that talks about the music being good.
I wonder why I haven't been able to get my thought out.
No. You've had time. I know you've been like, we're in a golden age because kids can do this and the whippersnappers can do that.
Wait.
The whippersnappers.
I'll wait. Okay, with that being said, right? Just take this year, for instance, right? We've had Nas coming out with crazy music. Like, we have the Fugees touring again, right? We have, Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine. We had Versus is bringing all these classic artists out. And I remember having a conversation a few years ago with a friend of mine. We were talking about hip hop, and we were thinking, like, will we ever see a time where classic hip hop artists are able to make money like, say, the Rolling Stones, classic rock stars can? And we're seeing that now because of the democratization of music, the fact that they can control their own fate. So music hasn't diminished. All that music that you want from your nostalgic days is still around, right? But at the same
That
time,
wasn't the
hip-hop
question, though.
is.
That wasn't the question at all. The question is about
So
the
with
music
that,
that's coming out.
so with that being said, hip hop. Now we have hip hop for old heads, right? Because hip hop's been around for a few decades. We have that. But what hip hop has always been, it's been for young people. Every generation of hip hop, you have a cohort of old ass dudes like us talking about how hip hop is being ruined, right? And there's no different today. Like I mentioned Wu Gang when we were talking about Fabio Foreign. Most people our age don't even know what that means, but that means something to the kids listening to that music, right? We're judging stuff that's not for us, and and a lot of us are unwilling to open our minds to that because we're so stuck in our Stone Age way of looking at hip hop. It's different. It ain't the same boom bap stuff that we're into. It's not. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have feeling. It doesn't mean it doesn't touch the people it's meant for. And that's just my only argument. This is something we're always going to see this with new genres of music as generations grow out of whatever's hot. But I love it. I love seeing the evolution of hip hop. As a true hip hop head, I love this. I love this day and age because for me, I feel like hip hop is never going to die. Nas came out with hip hop is dead. He was wrong. Hip hop will never die because it's going to evolve. It's going to grow with the people that it's meant for. Period.
All right. Let me just say this, just for clarification's sake. Hold on a second, old man. Hold on. I want to make sure I get this out here. It's not Wu Gang. It's the Woes. It's the Woe, and their biggest rival are the Chos. So I just want to make sure I get that correct there. Javi is an old man his own self. He's not.
You made my point.
He's not hip. Yeah. He's not hip like I am. So we just want to make sure we get that out there. Adam, you've been very quiet.
Yeah.
Adam, you've been very quiet. Do you have anything to add to this last point here?
I muted myself on purpose just because I wanted to let these two guys have at it, but I want to make sure I set the record clear as far as like owning masters. Drake only recently, within like 2017 or 2018, started to own his masters. Cash Money and Young Money, I believe, own his original records as part of the.
I just want to clarify that. I did it when I brought up Drake after the point, but a lot of these younger artists do own their own masters because they came in.
Yes.
Right.
So you're correct. Yeah. I wanted to make sure. Because I know that's been kind of a thing recently as far as older music. I wouldn't necessarily say I have felt very inspired by anything so far this year. And that goes for Nas's record, that goes for Drake's album, that goes for Kanye's album. I do agree to a certain extent with Javi's point that we are in what he called a golden age of music, right? Like we are in a time where anyone can go and produce and put their own music out and get it out for people to hear it. Whether or not as good is the problem that I have. I think there's just too much in the pool. I think there's too many people that have too much access and are creating subpar, unlistenable music. And that goes for all genres. That's not just rap. And hip hop. That's for rock and roll. That's for pop. I mean, that's everything. Anyone can be a musician or anyone can be a performer now. I don't necessarily think that I need to listen to everything. The reason that I like hip hop so much is because you had to have a specific sound back in the 80s and the 90s. And even the early 2000s, you needed to have something that made you stand out. You needed to have something that made you stand out from the rest of the crowd, something that you could stand on, and lyricism was it. I'm starting to slowly get into the new sound of music. I don't agree with Nas that hip hop is dead. I think it's going to be around forever, but I don't necessarily agree with the fact that everything that's come out right now is great. And I'm with old man on that, where I just don't. I think there is a certain level of. It's like what we talk about sometimes, Duke, with specific wrestling promotions. Everyone wants to believe that this stuff is good, and that we are pushing and promoting the fact that this stuff is good. But is it really good, or are we just trying to convince ourselves that it's good because these people are creating music, right? Does Eminem's music really stand the test of time? I don't know. I want to say it's good. I want to enjoy it. There were several tracks on Music to Be Murdered By that were great. Obviously Black Thought. I know we're not supposed to be talking about other artists, but it's kind of speaking to my larger point.
Greatest rapper alive.
Black Thought, hands down, is the greatest rapper alive. Hands down. Black Thought murdered that fucking track on Eminem's album. And those are facts. So that I can go back and listen to that record 100,000 times every day, but I don't necessarily agree that any of Eminem's music has a long-term viability. It's very much a pocket and a time in its own world. I nothing really, to me, nothing has stood out and said, okay, this is going to be great music. Because I think a lot of people have that option where they're like, oh well, Drake's record has to be great because it's Drake. Kanye's record has to be great because it's Kanye. But it didn't do anything for me. These records don't do anything for me. They're not long lasting. I'm not going to go back and spin them. There may be one or two tracks that I might really enjoy off of it, but I think to Old Man's point and some things that we've talked about, Duke, is people want to make themselves believe that it's good because they want to feel it and they want to think that it's good, but it really is. It isn't, and that's for everything. So that's where I kind of stand on that.
So I want to point out,
so
me and Javi joke.
Oh, go ahead, Old Man.
Let me just get to time. Me and Javi joke about this, and Javi knows that I was joking with like cutting him off or something like that. And I know I can read between the lines, but we're like, this is all in jest. Is it a golden age of hip hop? I think it's a golden age for the evolution of hip hop.
Correct.
I think
yes.
because we have so many different artists doing so many different things, I really honestly feel that is an amazing thing because you have like there's different genres like from from rock came metal, like you know what I mean, and from that came grunge. Right. So there are subsections of it, like we started from like self-destruction, like UNITY to like the Woo to Woo to what I mean. So it's gonna continue to evolve, and if it doesn't evolve, then then anything that doesn't evolve is gonna become extinct, and that's not something you want hip hop to be. So while I may not even like some of the stuff, and even if I never buy or listen to a new artist ever again, the fact that I have artists out there that are still making music for me and still evolving makes me very happy. When I look at Method Man, who hasn't sworn on a track, and I think they said something like 7 years, something like that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Redman still put out albums late in his career. Javi brought the point about the verses. Verses is a huge deal for like hip hop on not just a musical level, but on a business level. So we have the
black music in general, bro.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Thank you, Javi. And like that's a lot of those things are a big deal because hip hop has continued to evolve. Because hip hop has continued to evolve. Excuse me. So, if the golden age of hip hop, I think that's a very loaded, way to look at things. Because even in my stubbornness, I can recognize that some of the stuff that is going on, I don't necessarily have to like, but the fact that it's still being made and the fact that it's still being popular is a good thing. And so, but one thing I will never say when they go, people made hip hop pop. Like, no, hip hop's been pop for decades now. We can
forever.
Stop.
Yeah,
like we can stop that right now. That's not a true statement at all. It's been pop since before LL Cool J. Like, you know what I mean? So when people go, oh, Ja Rule's pop. Like, yeah, so was LL Cool J. Like, and like then you get someone like DMX. DMX was never pop. Pop had to be DMX. They had Ed Lover said it, and it was the best way that I heard someone describe DMX's career, because he was one of the few rappers that never had to adjust to the radio. Radio had to adjust to DMX, and I think that's one of the reasons why I think hip hop is as beautiful as it is because they make it a way to he's like, oh no, we're not going to adjust for you. You're going to adjust to us.
Javi, you got a last point on that before I wrap it up? Super Woke, did you have a last point before I wrap it up?
You're muted.
Sorry about that. I just want to end it. I'm going to end it on a cordial note. This was fun, actually. I really enjoyed it. I hope we can do it again.
Yeah.
And I think I agree with the breadth of your arguments, right? Like I think that, and I don't even think there's anything for me to disagree. Like art is entirely subjective, right? Like, I mean, we can talk about the technicalities and how well somebody used their 808s or synths or whatever, right? But at the same time, both of you guys, I think, have mentioned this in different ways. It's how the music makes you feel, right? Like if this music doesn't touch you, the great thing about hip hop, you're gonna find something that does, right? And I think that the one thing I'm gonna just disagree with a little bit, Adam, when you say that you feel like people want, they feel like they want to like this music, I disagree a bit. I think there's some of that, especially with social media and the fact that people feel like they need to have an opinion right away, right? With that, every album is like the best album ever,
Right.
For like a week, right? But
Agree.
I think for the vast majority of people, myself included, and I know the three of you guys, right? It's you like what you like. It's you're not putting it on. Like I like Drake music. I'm not saying it because I feel like that's what I need to say. And the same way I don't think you guys are saying you don't like some of the stuff because you feel like that's what you need to say. Like that's your opinion. You like what you like, and at the same, we're gonna like some of the same stuff. We're gonna like some different stuff. It doesn't even matter, man. Just keep listening to music and support your favorite artists. That's it. And support your local artists too.
All right.
Yes.
Well, listen.
Absolutely 100%.
Yes, definitely support the local artists. Of course. Adam B, Foundation Radio. Why don't you let everybody know how they can check out your podcast, because you've brought up some good stuff here, and there may be some people who want to continue to follow you. I don't think Javi will, but everybody else, I don't know.
Well, listen, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you guys having me on. It's been a pleasure. Javi, I know we've disagreed very sensationally on the show, but I that is the spice of life for me. I enjoy having a robust and intelligent conversation when it comes to these kinds of things, not just with hip hop, but with anything. So I have enjoyed having you as a sparring partner, sir, and I have really enjoyed this conversation. Old man as well. It has been a pleasure to agree with you for this entire duration of the show. So I want to say thank you guys so much both for having me on. No, I really appreciate it. And Duke, always is a pleasure to work with you in any capacity. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at This Is Goober. You can also find Foundation Radio. All of my episodes is at the archive at foundationradio.net. Lots of great interviews in there. Duke Bennett, friend of the show, has been on before. I've had guests ranging from Asher Roth to Eric Bischoff to Tommy Chung. So I have a wide array of guests that come on to my show for conversations and great wrestling talk, music talk. We play Dungeons and Dragons. It's a little bit of something for everybody. So again, that's foundationradio.net. You can also follow me at This Is Goober on my Twitter and my Instagram. And again, I got to thank you guys so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
And Adam likes to downplay the fact that he is connected to the Jackass guys. Those are his friends, lifelong friends, grew up together, same neighborhood. And Adam is a straight man out of that group. So I always like to bring that up. He's the one that's bailing them out when they get into all their hijinks, which you always need a good straight man in the group.
I should say I met them in my teens and my 20s. So I can't say that I grew up with them, but I did know them at some of the tail end of their Jackass 3D stuff. It's been a wild ride with those guys, and I have a lot of really fun stories. Brandon Novak's been on the show before. Lots of really insane times with those guys. But I have to be the straight guy. I'm the only one with a license most of the time, and the only one that can drive. So the only one sober enough and clear headed to drive. So I just want to But I mean, look, there was the time in my life that was incredible. Lots of really cool memories and cool times to be a part of. Lots of fun stories that I can tell you guys off air for sure.
Can we see you? Can we see you on any of the shows or movies?
No, I wasn't in it like that. If you watch Jackass 3D, there's a scene where they do the tooth pull, where Danger Aaron does the Lamborghini tooth pull. If you look in the scene when the car is driving towards, you cannot tell that it is me standing in for Ryan Dunn. That is, they dressed me up in the big, he was dressed up as a doctor, right? And the first thing they call, one of the guys calls me, he's like, hey, we need to do these pickup shots. I was like, all right, let's, go ahead and do it. They put me in a fake beard. They pulled out like the movie magic stuff. My first thought was absolutely fucking not. You guys are not putting any fake hair near me, because they glued the pubes of the one guy's face in Jackass 2. I was like, absolutely fucking not. No one's coming near me with this. And they're like, no, we promise we wouldn't fuck with you like that. Dunn got a kick out of it. He thought it was hilarious. He thought it was hysterical that I was able to dress up as him. No, but you'll be able to see me in an upcoming documentary about Brandon Novak. What's called Where's My Needle? It's the Brandon Novak story. I'll also be featured in his third book, which is coming out, I believe, in the next year, I think is when they're planning to do it. I was part and parcel to the Mercedes accident with that Novak crashed Bam's $150,000 Mercedes S55, I think it was.
Jeez.
I was with him. If it wasn't for me, Novak would be dead. And that story is absolutely insane. Bam is involved with that. April Margera. It is a wild story, and it's just as insane as it sounds. So that will be coming out. I believe they're going to be targeting for that for next year. So I'll definitely be doing some promotion for that as well. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I know Bam and Novak way better than I know the rest of the guys. Ryan Dunn and I were, we knew each other like very like infrequently. We only saw each other a handful of times. Absolutely incredible person though. Very, very missed by a lot of people. Yeah, just wild times though. So, but thank you, Duke. I appreciate your hyping on that.
Well, I always got to plug it there because, Adam, I'm sure somebody's watching along and saying, well, why the hell is this guy here? Well, this guy has a little bit of something for everybody. There's no two ways about it. And listen, I am the Duke, host of Duke Loves Wrestling podcast and the Tell Us the Truth podcast, a big friend of the Old Man Wade show. And it is such a pleasure and an honor anytime I get a chance to pop on. I was honored that Old Man Wade allowed me to host this special edition here, which is pretty cool, because I feel that Javi sometimes he needs a little taste of his own medicine. So for Old Man to be in a position where he can, take the gloves off and really lay into him, and then again he recruited Adam from Foundation Radio to pick up whatever pieces were left of Javi and, get the job done there. So it's very interesting when you see how this played out there. But clearly, Old Man Wade and Adam B from Foundation Radio, they were able to slay the beast, the Hulk, okay, known as Super Woke Javi. That's what happened here, folks. I am the Duke. I am the host. I am the judge. I am awarding the victory to Old Man Wade and Adam B from Foundation Radio. You got that right. And with that said, I'm going to shut my mouth. I'm going to let the guys who run this operation close us out. Super Woke Javi, Old Man Wade, take it away.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. I want to thank the Superior Super Woke Javi for doing this. Don't forget you can find us on oldmanwade.com. Posting stuff. I have this new set of articles I'm doing called Storytime with Old Man Wade. I'll probably be changing it to Talks with Old Man Wade, where I specifically discuss just life in general and things that have changed me as a person. A little fun thing I'm doing. We also do a bunch of comic book articles, which have done really well because it's something we're both passionate about. You can also find us on the Old Man Wade Facebook page, just talking shenanigans. We get a little it's fun for the most part, but we also do discuss a lot of social injustice things. Like, we are very huge on making sure that the LGBTQ, Black people, women are well represented in these things. We are going to be honest about things, and like Super Woke said, we don't judge right off the bat. You know what I mean? Like, we will, we don't cancel someone because unless you're a rapist, you do have a chance for redemption. You can find me on Old Man Wade Com on Twitter and Instagram. You can find Super Woke Javi on Let Shit Record on Twitter that he never uses.
Hey.
I always gotta add that, man. I always gotta add it. You can also find us on our comic book page, sponsored by Black Rabbit.
BlackRabbit.com.
BlaqueRabbit. My best friend and hetero life mate, Diddy, does that.
He's not lying about that.
And you can also find me on his website, blackrabbit.com, doing articles as well. Yeah, that's all I got.
Can I get a recount though? Yo, who did Trump call in Arizona? I need some cyber ninjas. I don't know. I don't trust the judge, man.
They certified the election though for Joe Biden, which we all knew was the reality. So.
Stop to steal.
Certified stealer.
Javi, you were so non-committal.
Tremendous.
You were so non-committal on everything. On everything,
fantastic
Javi.
Guy.
I couldn't get my point across, yo. I was over here getting jumped, freaking getting jabbed by Old Man Adams coming in with the uppercut, but it's okay.
Yeah, because we
all have our off days.
You want to know why? Because we follow the Wu-Tang Clan of things. You just jump people.
You guys got me in the hypotenuse of the square.
Perpendicular to the square. I stand gold like Flair.
What are you saying?
What stand gold like Flair?
I'm not getting into this conversation about the RZA again.
No, wait, my favorite is Ghostface. Yeah, ironclad ice cubes, rocks in the grass. Like, what the fuck did you just say? What are you talking about?
Hold on. My favorite.
There'll be no Ghostface slander here.
No, I'm just saying. I love Ghostface. I'm just saying. Not everything he says makes sense. That's all.
Hold on.
Yeah, but you don't have the mathematics.
This is the biggest storm and hands out turkeys. What?
What?
What did he just say?
Statues of...
I'm going to play it back.
Ghostface Killer. Statues of Mary, gats that bust Mercury, sit through the biggest storm and hand out turkeys.
What did he say?
I don't know, but I love it.
I guess I'm saying I could listen to it all day long, but I'm like, what the fuck did this guy just say on this record? Oh my god! Sorry, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, be safe out there.
The old man.
Oh, please listen. Remember, be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Subscribe to the Old Man Wade Show. We're out of time, folks.
Damn it, Wade.